Day, October 6th, and boy, did you tune in for a good one. Alongside of Jay Parker, I'm Greg Hollenbach. Brian Freeman on the bench today, and Chef Preston Phillips is in the kitchen with us today. And right now we have a little video that we're going to show you a premiere of today. It's named Breaking Bread with Chef P. Break bread with Chef P and savory roasted buttered chicken recipe is what he was showing. And a little bit of this. What? There's bags of weed in this. Why? I don't know. Is it a cooking show? Is it a weed show? We're going to find out with Chef Preston Phillips at the end of today's show. So in the meantime and in between time, I want to tell you who we have on the show. At 2:20, Sonia Riggs from the Colorado Restaurant Association is going to join us to talk about quite a few topics. I like this. Let's take this outside. It's an initiative that they're putting together to get community folks around some of the best brains of how can you expand your outdoor seating and make it stick during the fall and winter months. That's going to be a very important topic. As you know, through the city council, delivery charge cap did pass. Is that good or bad? And it's delayed until February. We'll talk about that with Sonia as well. And then politics as they transcend through food. Do they have any place with that? And we'll get a reaction from her. At 2:30, Dr. William Blanchett, he's our spirit guide when it comes to all things COVID. Boulder Internal Medicine's very own Dr. William Blanchett will join us. And he's got some interesting things to say about what's happening. And right now, we are going to turn our focus on this gentleman. And I was reading a Westward piece today that I thought was very interesting. It's a Mark Antonation piece. And John Imbergamo joins us, the Imbergamo Group. And John, welcome to the Modern Eater Show. It's good to see you.
Thanks, Greg. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. The name of the article, and Politics and Restaurants Make Strange Bedfellows. I want you to set up what this article is, and then I'd love to have a discussion about this article as well. So first of all, before we jump in, could you tell our audience, give us 30 seconds on yourself, and then we'll talk about the Imbergamo Group as well.
Sure. This is the 30th year of the Imbergamo Group, and essentially I represented restaurants across town, mostly in a PR and marketing capacity for the last 20 years or so. But about 30 years ago, I decided that calling myself a restaurant consultant was the best way to approach this. And so I'm a little deeper than your average PR and marketing person. I've owned restaurants and run restaurants and eat in restaurants all the time. So approach food from a kind of holistic point of view.
Man, we should. Just the experience. 30 years. Congratulations, first of all. And like me in media for 20, just a blink in media in 20, but talk radio being my background, it's been amazing to see how many adjustments have needed to take place to continue relevancy in media as things have migrated through technology. I can only imagine how much you've seen change throughout the years with restaurants as well.
Yeah, there used to be 15 people in the whole city that made a difference when it came to food and restaurants. So there was a beat writer at the Post, one at the Rocky Mountain News, one at the Denver Business Journal. There was a critic at Westward and 5280 and the Post and the News. There were 3 radio shows about food that appeared 5 times a week, and that was about it. Food editors, sorry, at the Post and the News and at 5280. So, now there's 15,000 people, all of whom are spending a little bit of time on food. So it's changed completely.
If you'll allow me, I want to have you back ASAP to really have that conversation because I think it's an interesting one as well. But as we join ourselves today with Politics and Restaurants Make Strange Bedfellows, it's a piece that, and Jay's putting a link up on our stream so you can see it as well. I think this is a very interesting piece. Before I jump in with any opinion of mine, could you set this up and talk about what it is? I think it's interesting that here it is, the 30 years that you've been in the business. I'm just going to set you up with this. Has there ever been a place for politics within restaurants throughout that 30 years?
Well, it's important to differentiate between politics in the restaurant and politics in general. So, as I said in this story, I never recommend that people do not participate in politics. I think it's critically important for all of us to spend a bunch of time and effort and energy on politics and social issues and all that goes along with that. I just don't recommend that they do it under the brand name because they risk pissing off 50% of their clientele. And so a few weeks ago, I saw a bunch of people doing a bunch of political things, people that I knew were restaurateurs, and I put up a Facebook post that just said, hey, I'm curious, does the political whoops, getting some feedback there. But anyway, does the political pronunciations of these restaurateurs affect where you eat? Do you pay attention to this? And it got a lot of traffic, and there was a very interesting split between who said it did and who said it didn't. So we can talk about that later. But that's kind of how this piece came about, and then Mark hooked it to the In-N-Out folks who are coming to town. So.
Okay, so, here's where opinions come in, and I think that this is going to be quite the conversation. In a day and age to where every guest counts, let's face it, if you're a restaurant, you know the slim margins. You don't need anything to hurt yourself. You really don't. And let's face it, politics are very polarizing to the point of where people will refuse to do business with you, and I think a lot of friendships are even lost over political views. That being said, where do you begin? Okay, everyday life. If I'm waking up, and let's face it, I think many Americans at this point in time, they choose to find their own sources for news. It used to be, the nightly news or your evening news or maybe even talk radio, which would be the ilk of your own that would join you. I scroll my timeline on my Facebook, on my Instagram, and there are certain people that it's undeniable that are telling you their political views in a way that's very in your face and sometimes with a lot of vitriol and anger. At that point in time, I think that on either side, if you're not in lock, stock, and barrel with their thought process, you turn a little sideways on it. And I put a post up on my personal Facebook page that said, put your politics in your pocket, people. There could be somebody out there that doesn't want to do business with you anymore, and you may lose a close friend over it. I firmly believe that right now we are in a position in a country to where things are very divided, black and white. But that should not transcend into your pocketbook and into your business. These are personal opinions on my end. I reserve my political. There used to be a day and age to where you didn't know how somebody voted. They kept that to themselves for many reasons. But more and more these days, you're seeing folks like Jesus Silva, great friend of mine. He's very much on the side of John Hickenlooper in this political race. He's put himself out there with that. My question is, and I'll have Jesus on the show to ask him this very direct question. Do you believe, or are you worried that may hurt you in your pocketbook by claiming a side to the aisle? It's a very intricate, complex, delicate question because obviously there are passions in politics, but does it belong in your business or on plates in restaurants everywhere? John, I'll ask you, do you have a personal opinion on this?
Well, I know Jesus well, and you will notice that in the ad that he did for John Hickenlooper, he didn't mention the name of his restaurants. And you'll also notice that in this story, Mark interviewed him, and he said that he's gotten some negative comments about being in that ad. So he's certainly free and able to make his own decisions when it comes to who he's going to support and how he's going to support, how public. He's chosen to be very public. You said earlier, you worry about whether we have such a hard time keeping guests as it is, or getting guests as it is. We don't want to give guests a non-food service ambiance reason for not eating in our restaurants. There's just too much competition. There's too many different places that they can go. A little bit less competition today than there was 7 months ago, but there's still a lot of competition. And you just don't want to give people a reason when they're sitting at home. The John Imbergamo theory of restaurant marketing is that we keep a list of 5 restaurants in our head. And when you get home or get on the phone or whatever with your partner or whatever and say, hey, you want to go out tonight? You go through that list of 5 places that are in your head. And it's really hard to get a restaurant into that list of 5. That's the job of somebody like me as a PR and marketing guy, is to create awareness of my clients. But do you want to go for Italian tonight? No, we just had Italian. You want sushi? Yeah, maybe we want sushi. Hey, let's go to that place. And you go, nah, I don't really want to go to that place because that guy, he was on the Hickenlooper ad. And I hope that's not happening, but I think it does. And you run the risk of that happening when you're extremely public about your support of one candidate or another. And in these times, it's more toxic than ever. It's much more difficult. Nobody's in the middle anymore. Everybody seems to be on either side. And so much more difficult to get through that.
John, and very well said. John Imbergamo here with us. And, a couple of things that stood out to me the most in there is, number one, it seems to me like people have already have their sides. There's really, I don't know if there's any undecided voters really left at this point in time. And if there are, great.
How could there be?
Well, yeah, true. So the thought process is, if that's the case, and if you are using your social media as a tool to get a message across, which you would hope that would be why you would do that, is to take an undecided voter and convince them that, okay, this is why my point is to be made. But if you're putting things out there just to be a rebel rouser, just to solidify or kick dirt into somebody that doesn't think like you into their face, I don't know how anything productive can come from that at all. So it doesn't have to do with the point that's trying to be made. I think that points can be made very nicely and succinctly. It has to do right now is that, please, and I think that Jesus Silva, he's a sweetheart of a gentleman. He comes from all of the right places. His heart's in the right place. I'm sure he thought through his decision on pros and cons and why, and he would go into a political ad like that. But at the same time, you can't help but wonder, in a place especially like Broadway Market, where they need every customer that they possibly can have, to think that somebody wouldn't darken the doorstep because of politics breaks my heart. Breaks my heart. It truly does. And so when we look at other people, like the gal from, I think it's Shooters and Rifle, who was running for some kind of government office, I'm not even sure her name, whatever her name is, it's in that piece. She's very out front. She's doing that to be a rebel rouser. She could care less if anybody that has an opposing point of view ever does business with her. And very out front with that. But I think the unintended consequences of most people that are just trying to get about their day, I want them to pause. I want them to actually take a look at why you are doing these things, because you have to wonder, are you not only hurting yourself, but are you hurting somebody else that you're doing business with? Here's my point. There's a lot of business operators that may want to say, we're going to remain neutral as a restaurant. And we talk in restaurant terms because that's what we do here. We want to remain neutral as a restaurant. But you may have servers. You may have chefs. You may have people that are in the fabric of your business environment that want to espouse their political views. there probably should be a mandate across the board, and this is how I would do that, is that please, in a day and age to where we need guests, leave that to yourself. Do not put that out there publicly, because I don't want to have to fire you because you're putting political stuff out there on social media. And John, there might be, and there probably are people that are saying to themselves, Greg, you're overreacting. No. People look to social media to see whether they're going to hire you, do business with you, and want to continue on with any kind of relationship with you because of political views. You can take it from there.
Well, I don't know that we can actually fire people for putting political views up on social media. We can tell them that they can't.
I'll guarantee you can. If somebody says that I didn't go to your restaurant because your server put up political views and they lost business on that, I think that would be detrimental to a business, and that would be cause for being fired.
Well, what I would suggest is that people tell their staff never to put anything up under the brand of the restaurant. So, hey, I'm Bob and I'm a server at this particular restaurant, and I'm a big supporter of this particular candidate. That would not be a good thing to do. But I don't know that you can stop them from posting political.
You could choose for them not to work for you. Absolutely.
Yeah, we might disagree on the consequences of firing somebody for that. But
sure.
But I know it's an at-will state and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I've been doing this for a long time. But I think that, the more important point is you don't want people representing your business and talking about politics. You don't want them representing your business and talking about anything controversial,
right? Because
it just doesn't make any sense, because there's at least some number of people who that's not going to make happen.
How about you personally? And again, I don't know your political stance of where you fall in politics, but just from a personal point of view, are there things that you see from people that have given you pause to say, I may not do business with these folks because it's just gone a little too far?
I think.
Now, be honest. Come on, John. Tell me the truth.
Yeah, I think there are occasional social media postings or comments made in group meetings or kind of very visible proclamations that would stop me from, or at least slow me down from going. Whether it's going to prevent me from going somewhere, I don't know if I'm that strong about it, but it certainly would make me think about it, give me pause.
Yeah. Last word, and then anything else that you'd like to say that you're doing to promote your group, because I'd really like you to be able to do that.
Thanks. We are spending time right now thinking about the winter, because the winter is going to be very scary when it comes to restaurants. And so I represent Rioja, Bistro Vendome, you've got, Stoic and Genuine, Ultrea. I do some work for some other folks, and we're promoting promotional things in those restaurants to try to get people to come in both now and in the winter. We've just started a BYOB, Bring Your Own Blanket promotion to try to convince people to come and sit on patios just like they do in the mountains, après ski, and wear your parka. We're dealing with the limitations that the city and the state have imposed on us in terms of putting up walls on our tents and trying to find heaters to heat those things. So we're full blast working on the winter right now to try to make sure that people are going to still eat in our restaurants, and we hope and pray that that's going to happen.
You work with some very, very smart people, and I have no doubt that there will be some creative things. I'm thrilled with the Bring Your Own Blanket. How creative is that, and why not? I almost think that That's just something that I really think people will embrace and go do. You're right, mountain towns. That's nothing new. We've seen it for quite some time. Winter's going to be interesting. I don't think any of us can look around corners, but seating is going to be at the top of the issues, and that's why Sonia Riggs is going to come up next, and we're going to talk about that as well as the delivery cap. But I got to wish you a great day, and I'd say good luck, but continued success. 30 years in the business, just really a center point here in Denver, Colorado. And John Imbergamo, the Imbergamo Group, I really appreciate your time today. Thanks, John.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. We want to circle back around to him, Jay. That's really a wealth of information through John and his lens throughout the years. He's seen a lot of stuff.
Oh, I'm sure.
And a lot of people come and go.
Lauren Boebert is who you were looking for.
Lauren Boebert,
earlier.
That's right, from Rifle, Colorado.
Just an FYI.
And it's interesting. I tell you what, we're going to get a little bit of blowback from that conversation, and I think that's okay. But coming up in the coming months, that will be a theme of conversation as things heat up. And really the division within parties and political lines is very polarizing right now. So that will be an interesting conversation as we near towards election time. And I really would like to encourage people, if you're doing business and you're putting yourself out there, because let's face it, a lot of business is solicited through social media. Don't blurry those lines. Don't cross those lines. I'll leave that right there as we will develop that. Well, let's get Jesus Silva on the show. I think the world of that gentleman, and him to back John Hickenlooper said a lot, obviously. But I'd like to see if that's effective in a positive or negative way. We're going to pause and come back. On the show right now, and she popped up, Sonia Riggs, the president and CEO of the Colorado Restaurant Association, doing great things, obviously, as they continue to look around corners into the fall, and let's take this outside. What it's like, what does that mean? Are you challenging me, Jay? Is that what you're telling me?
Are you threatening me?
Are you threatening me, Jay? Let's take this outside. It's a really creative spin on just the challenges of dining outside and keeping that seating capacity. The delivery charge cap did pass through City Council. How long will it last? What does it mean? And then a small sound off on just quickly politics and if they have any place on your menu or your plate. I don't think that they do.
Just when you wanted to get out of political talk, this
is me being out of it, but in it. So,
yeah.
All right, let's take a break. We'll come right back. Miss Sonia Riggs, Colorado Restaurant Association, up next on the Modern Eater Show. I love the laugh.
Like right now?
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, it's Kyle Mendenhall. I'm talking with my good friends from the Modern Eaters Show. Keep supporting them. There's a lot of good stuff happening.
We started Meridium Spirits because we love the way that spirits and cocktails can bring people together to socialize, to bond, to have conversations. Well, right now we've got some big conversations to have. Coop Vodka and Coop Gin are available at liquor stores across the metro area, but if you can't find us or would like to have us behind your bar or at your restaurant, send us an email, info@meridiumspirits.com. We know things are a little different these days, but think of us the next time you're planning a virtual happy hour or a socially distant picnic. And keep an eye on our social media, Coop by Meridium, for all the latest and greatest.
Hey, Dave Thibodeau here. Hey, friends of the Modern Eater. This is Dave Thibodeau from Ska Brewing and Peach Street Distillers. I wanted to let you know that our new brew distillery is up and running again in Boulder. And we've got a great selection of Ska beers. Nearly 30 on tap. We've also got all of our Peach Street spirits available. A great mixology program that we brought down from the Western Slope and Palisade. We're open limited hours, Wednesday through Friday from 3 to 10. And then we open up earlier at 10 a.m. on Saturday and Sunday and get some brunch action rolling. We have 2 great patios. Socially distant seating is available. And you can always check for more information at scastreet.com and hope we become your new favorite neighborhood spot. And I'd like to meet you there in the not too distant future for a beer or a drink soon. So take care, be healthy, and stay strong. And I'll talk to you later.
Hi guys, it's Cody Ann from Aspen Baking Company. We specialize in fresh, preservative-free, amazing bread. But with all the food news, go right here to the Modern Eater.
Hey, Zach Ryder here, Colorado Mills Sunflower Products out of Lamar, Colorado. Your only local source, grown from a local crop to produce a local oil for local chefs. You can find it at Shamrock Foods, What Chefs Want, Seattle Fish Company. Let me try it one more time, then we'll see. Hey, restaurants, we're glad you're reopening. From Colorado Mills Sunflower Oil, we'll see you soon.
First, we partner with the best farmers in the world, and then we tell them, we will take it all. Process whole spices daily, blend custom spices to order, keep it fresh, safe, and flavorful, all so that you can get back to doing what you do best. So whether you're a restaurant, a food manufacturer, or an at-home cook, be sure to visit The Spice Guy at www.thespiceguyco.com.
Yeah, right there. That is the delicious cooking from Mr. Butter is who that is. No, that's Chef Preston Phillips. And the new video that he has, we're gonna show a lot of this video. We might even show the whole thing. It's only 6 minutes long. Chef Preston Phillips is in studio with us, and that's Break Bread with Chef P and that savory butter roasted chicken recipe. It is October 6th. It's a Tuesday, 86 degrees outside. And I'll encourage. Listen, this Jay
feels great.
Well, it's Colorado in the fall, and this is what we've all trained for. It's beautiful outside, and I want to encourage every single person. If you care about your local restaurants, you love them. Now's the time. Go flood their patios. Don't let a seat go unused. Go sit down, enjoy the patios, lunch, dinner, breakfast if you can. Anytime you can get out there, now's the time to do it. Give them that push. Going into
they can use it
into the fall. Jeff Rourke at A+ Beverage Solutions. He's the man in the business, 20 years, most trusted. And what does he do? He installs draft systems. Why? Because he loves delicious craft beer. So do you. That's why you want it to taste just like the brewer intended it to taste.
Or coffee,
or wine,
water. Yeah, anything.
Kombucha.
Anything that has a spigot, and you want to run it.
Yeah, and if your spigot's not running. He can do that, too. Maintenance as well. If you're pouring inefficient beer, what are you doing, Jay?
Sonia, you're pouring your money down the drain.
Don't pour your money down the drain. Sonia would never do that. She would call Jeff Rourke at 720-272-3809.
What is it?
720-272-3809. Jeff Rourke, A+ Beverage Solutions. Dr. William Blanchette's going to be coming up, Boulder Internal Medicines. But right now, it's Miss Sonia Riggs, Colorado Restaurant Association President and CEO. How are you, Sonia?
Good. Good to see you.
Lots of stuff going on right now. First of all, let's take this outside. Are you threatening me? Is that
no,
what?
in fact, I'm encouraging you to continue supporting your local restaurants, like I just heard you say. So thank you. That's the idea.
I think it's so cool. Let's talk about this. But the play on words, let's take this outside. I think it's more important because that's always been known as a challenge, but a negative challenge. This is a very positive challenge. You're challenging people to take it outside, and you're trying to figure out creative ways with the collective of how you can get the best and the best of this community together to figure out great ideas for seating outdoors. You take it from there, Sonia.
Well, you're absolutely right, and knowing that restaurants are limited with their capacity for indoor seating, this is one thing that's really helped those restaurants make it through the summer, and we are not seeing, based on the state requirements for indoor capacity, through even the Protect Our Neighbors phase, we're not seeing a big chance to quickly increase capacity inside of restaurants. So the idea behind really encouraging people to continue to go outside to eat over the cold weather months is, it's something that mountain towns have already figured out how to do. Ski resorts really enjoying those spaces outdoors. But we're hoping that folks will consider doing that all around the state. And restaurants are already busily preparing for that exact thing. So now we just need to get the public on board and hope that that's something that they can really make fun experiences out of over the winter.
Okay, so industry.
So we're doing.
industry folks listen to the show, watch the show, and tomorrow, October 7th, you're kind of doing a webinar, aren't you?
We are, and this is part of our Colorado Restaurant Show, which typically was something that we held at the convention center, and we'll go back to doing that again when COVID is over. But right now we've changed it into a virtual series of educational programs for restaurateurs, knowing how busy everybody is right now. We didn't want you to have to sit down for an entire day at once, and so we're spacing those out in 1 hour segments. And so our next one is tomorrow, and that's exactly what we're talking about. Is we're going to talk to Adam Zarin, policy advisor to Governor Polis. He's going to talk about the state's indoor-outdoor guidelines. They recently just published a list of, for these temporary outdoor structures, what counts as indoor space, what counts as outdoor space, and that's important. It's important because it impacts what your overall capacity is. Mike Brockway, who's a tenting and heating expert, is also going to talk through some considerations for enclosing your spaces. And then Phil Armstrong, a restaurateur, is going to be there to talk about his own experience. He's setting up yurts. My understanding is at some of his restaurants, he's got Orem and Steamboat and Breckenridge, among others. But we're already seeing some of that in restaurants really trying to look at some creative ways to keep people comfortable while they're continuing to dine outdoors. Luckily, in Colorado, we'll see what this winter looks like, but it's not unheard of to have gorgeous days in the middle of, late into the fall and even in the middle of winter. So we're hoping that may be helpful as well.
Oh, man, gorgeous days. It's like, that's why you get up in Colorado and you go, oh, man, we are kind of lucky because it can be January and the sun's out. It's 50 degrees and it feels like it's, 80 just because, hey, here's the cool stuff. You get to watch the kiddos running around in the background. I love that.
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
No. I mean, listen.
That's life for everybody right now.
Yes, it is. Being a mother does not stop. That's for sure. And so business doesn't stop either. It just came down. Denver City Council passes third-party delivery fee cap. I know tomorrow, I think, is Molly confirmed to come into the studio tomorrow to do a deep dive on this?
She's going to be there tomorrow to talk all about it. Molly Steinemann, who's our manager of local government affairs, is going to be talking about exactly what this means to restaurants, why it's something that we pushed for. We worked with Eat Denver and the restaurant community to, and frankly also worked with, Councilwoman Black was a terrific supporter, but she really pulled together a team, a stakeholder group, including third-party delivery companies, to talk about this and what we get their thoughts on how we could make something work. So we're very pleased to see City Council pass it. That's
an interesting topic. We talked about that, just threw it around yesterday at first blush of what are the pros, what are the cons to it? Interesting internal conversation. I think that we all flip-flopped on do we support it, do we not support it, back and forth by just convincing ourselves of different angles. It's a very interesting conversation, and the topic is real, but should there be a cap on delivery fees? Yes, 15%. And I know a lot of restaurants are happy to see that, especially because they just felt like the gouging was endless when it came to these delivery services and fees. So we'll talk more about that with Molly. What else is on the plate? Okay, today, Westward, Patty Calhoun article, CRA doesn't endorse candidates, but politicians push restaurants. Politicians push restaurants. I just want to get your initial reaction to this. People can read the piece on their own. I think they get the gist from it. But, Sonia, your official reaction from the Colorado Restaurant Association on this piece.
Well, I mean, it's, I think it's just reporting sort of history. But we as an organization for a long time have been working very hard to work with politicians on both sides of the aisle. We contribute to both sides of the aisle. We work with, all levels of government, but it's for quite a while now. We've purposely not specifically endorsed candidates. We, try to work with them however we can, and it's been even more important on that level, both at local and the state government, on working with many, many people, whether there's someone that's a regulator who's following through with these rules, or whether it's somebody that's an elected official that we really keep that open dialogue with them to help restaurants, because that's really what we're doing here is trying to help restaurants right now. It's helping them survive, right? Helping them make it through the winter till we can get through COVID. But even through normal times, it's we don't take positions on social issues. We're very, very much an association that works specifically on business issues that specifically are there to help restaurants succeed and stay open.
I can't tell you, and again, I don't even really know your politics personally. In fact, I don't even care to know them most of the time, especially right now where politics are so polarizing. But it's a breath of fresh air for me, just as the end user, to read an article like that, knowing how difficult that must be for an organization that is relied on with lobbying, that relationships are very close, and that on either side of the aisle, I'm sure there's pressure. How does money work out with that? How does it exchange hands? In politics, it gets really messy, it gets really sticky. But I think an organization like yours, to be that all-inclusive, we're here to support every single person that we possibly can, that stands to me as a breath of fresh air, and I can't thank you enough for positioning the Colorado Restaurant Association that way, because it just makes me look at how pure you guys are for everybody. And to me, that's...
Well, don't get me wrong. We're extremely politically active as an organization.
Yes,
that's what we do, right? We're consistently lobbying on behalf of restaurants and helping to share their side. But we work very hard to work with both sides of the aisle on doing that, because the fact is, no one side stays in power for too long. We see that happens. We've seen a lot of flips in Colorado, and it's regardless of that, it's important, and we're specifically focusing on issues that are important to this industry and really help them stay open. So, but we are an extremely politically active group. It's just that we focus really on our time and effort on the issues.
Yeah, issues, not people.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously. What else? I thought, man, it's going to slow down. You're going to have nothing to do. It's not.
Where'd you get that idea?
It's not that way. I thought, well, maybe we take a deep breath and go into the holidays. But it's going to be very active, a lot of things, and your focus is 1,000% on how can we help support restaurants and continue to bring guests in, whether it's pickup or delivery or, in your restaurant dining. Can't thank you enough for it.
Well, thank you. Can I just mention one more thing that we're working on? When you were talking about outdoor dining, do we have time?
Oh, please.
Quickly. So we've been working closely with the state on trying to offer some guidance and some creative ideas on this outdoor dining space over the cold weather months. And so on October 19th, we're actually pulling together, we're working closely with architects, contractors, engineers, working closely with local public health officials and the state of Colorado, the governor's office, on really pulling together people in all these different areas, bringing all the experts to the table for what's called a design charrette and workshop. But what that means is it's basically a day-long workshop where we're going to look at different types of spaces that restaurants have expanded into outdoors, whether it's a street or whether it's a sidewalk or your parking lot, or whether you're in a resort community up in the mountains, whether you're someplace down here in the city. What are some options that could work relatively inexpensively for restaurants and get built, relatively quickly, to just inspire them with, here are some ideas that might work that will work with the fire department, and will work with health code officials, and we'll work on the tent side and et cetera, to hopefully encourage restaurateurs to take a part of this program. The other thing we know is, restaurants are oftentimes, I talk to folks who are saying, I don't have any money, I'm down 50% or more during this time, and where am I going to get additional money to invest in winter? So we're really working hard to not only try to raise money to be able to give out some grants of our own, but really there are already a number of grant programs out there And we're also continuing to reach out, and I know the governor is as well, to cities and counties and saying, do you have extra money from CARES Act funding that you could give to restaurateurs to help fund some of these expenses like heaters and tents and other things to make their outdoor spaces more comfortable to guests over the winter. So we're trying to compile all that information right now, and we'll share it with folks as soon as we have it. But
how's it looking?
Try to help. Yeah.
How's it looking?
Well, we know there's already a number of programs out there continue to publicize that, but we're hopeful that we can continue to push this program even bigger and better. So more to come.
I can't wait to see how that develops. What else, Sonia? Did we cover it all for today?
Yeah, you covered it all.
Looking forward to seeing Molly tomorrow here in studio as we talk about the delivery fee cap and the pros and cons with that. So we'll see Molly here tomorrow. As always, to all of the ladies at the Colorado Restaurant Association and gentlemen, I keep forgetting what's his name? I forgot.
We have both. We have a couple gentlemen there. Nick Hoover, our government affairs manager, and Mike Reed.
Yeah.
Our controller.
Sorry, Nick and Mike. Okay, Sonia Riggs, Colorado Restaurant Association President and CEO. We'll talk to you a little bit later.
Okay.
Thanks.
Great. Thanks so much.
Yeah, you bet, Sonia
nice
Riggs.
To see you.
It's always good to see Sonia, and I'm also looking forward to Dr. William Blanchette. It's been a while since we've talked to the doctor.
The good doctor.
The good doctor.
Yeah, it's been a little while, and he's got some, a couple interesting things to say too about COVID and what's.
Wonder if he'll get political
happening.
with it.
I don't know.
I wonder.
I want to know if he thinks politics belong on his dinner menu.
Well, he can take our poll, because on the stream today, the poll is, do politics belong on your dinner menu? And 86% of the people say no, and 14% say yes.
See, now that's what I expected, right? To see it would pretty heavy in the
yeah.
no.
Now scroll your Facebook feed.
Well, now I am.
And tell me how many people that you see on
there. Well, here's what this is what I was going to say. It's like I want somebody from that 14% to comment on the thing and just say and give me, a little 2 sentences of why you think it should, because I'm interested.
Now, see, I go a step further. It's not like I'm saying, "Hey, my name is Bob and I work at such and such restaurant. I own such and such restaurant, and here is my political leanings." I don't think anybody would really do that, but it's just me that Bob works for such and such. I know Bob works for such and such. Bob's my friend, and now Bob is spouting off about things that I think have no place in a public arena, especially if I'm considering doing business with Bob. I'm going to pass Bob by.
It can be sticky. It can be sticky.
All right, what else can be sticky is
chicken. I'm trying to help you with that. I can't. I don't have any help for that.
All right, let's break off. We'll come back. You'll hear from Jay about Aspen Baking Company, and then Dr. William Blanchette, Boulder Internal Medicine, joins us. We'll do a segment with the doctor, and then Chef P. You know him as Chef Preston Phillips from Grind Kitchen and Watering Hole. Cool new series that he's embarking on. It's called Break Bread with Chef P. And boy, they do. Savory butter roasted chicken recipe, as he's doing some work here in the kitchen today. Put together a delicious dish for us. Let's break. We'll come right back. The Modern Eater Show continues on a beautiful Tuesday.
Hey, Modern Eater fans. I'm Don Trobo with the Annex by Ardent Mills, and I just wanted to give you a heads up about some of the great things we've got going on locally in the state. We're headquartered right here, and we're working with farmers in the San Luis Valley to bring you amazing Colorado quinoa. It's just like the South American stuff, but grown locally. We've got transitional wheat flour that's grown by farmers in Colorado and surrounding states who are in the process of turning their fields into organic. So we're taking that transitional wheat and turning it into flour, and now it's available for you to cook and bake with. And last but not least, we're now cleaning grain berries in Denver. So things like spelt or wheat berries or pearl barley, those are things that we're now doing right here locally and are available to you. Can't wait to share it with you.
Hey, Colorado restaurant and food service operators. This is Rich O'Brien along with Pearson Shields over here at Elevation Food Service Reps. And we wanted to let you guys know that at the end of the month, on the 23rd and 24th, here at our global headquarters in Park Hill, Colorado, Denver, Colorado, we're going to be having our demo sale where you can buy great products gently used for an excellent price. And we want to invite you over. And, you know, chefs, I know you all know Pearson, and he can vouch that these are pretty good products. Going to be a good price.
No, absolutely. We used them, gently used them, and we're super excited. We're doing some good food as well.
Well, by you.
Some chicken.
Yeah.
I'll be cooking.
Yeah, we got Pearson cooking. And hey, guys,
Excited.
come over this way, too. And don't mind the young woman right there. She's just kind of hanging out and hiding. But we have all this equipment here that we're going to be doing our best to sell and get out of here. So any questions, give us a call over here at Elevation, 303-750-3727, or at elevationfs.com. And if you have any questions about the equipment, just give Pearson a holler. Thanks, guys.
Hey there, Barbecue All-Star. This is your year, so what if you weren't drafted? The only draft you need to be worried about is actually spelled D-R-A-U-G-H-T, and it's adult for the word beer. It's barbecue season, baby. Now get out there and grill your ass off.
Back to the show and Dr. William Blanchett and Chef Preston Phillips in just a second, but right now it is time, and it is time for bread. AspenBaking.com. If you're a bread lover, if you know a chef who's a bread lover, they don't have the time to cook the bread in the kitchen, they don't have the room, AspenBaking.com is where you want to go. You want to go there. You want to talk to Cody Ann. Order direct, order online, Amazon Fresh. They do it all. Catering, yes. You want to get some boxed lunches for your employees? They do that too. Aspen Baking, you guys, I'm telling you, since 1994, they've been doing it the right way. Not the preservative way, not the artificial colors. You've seen that? You've seen the weird stuff where bread looks weird. They don't freeze it and then sell it to you later and say it's fresh. Some folks do. AspenBaking.com doesn't. And if you're a bread lover like I am, to where you don't necessarily need the meat, you don't necessarily need the cheese, but you have to have the bread, if you have to have the bread like I have to have the bread, then you have to have AspenBaking.com. Hashtag, how's your Aspen?
That's good stuff, Jay. 86 beautiful degrees out on an October 6th. It's a Tuesday. And just this beautiful weather should take you to patios far and wide. Enjoy your favorite restaurants. And make sure you go out to eat while the weather's nice and they figure out how to keep you warm and comfortable in the winter when it's cold in Colorado. Preston Phillips coming up next. The Dr. William Blanchett on with us right now, Boulder Internal Medicine. And kind of an interesting show today. We're talking about politics by saying don't talk about politics. Isn't that interesting? And as the doctor joins us right now, I'll bet you anything the doctor keeps his politics off of his Facebook and Instagram. In fact, I probably think he probably doesn't even have a Facebook or Instagram. Yeah. Doctor, how are you? It's good to see your face.
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Yeah, good to
see you.
Well, boy, it sure heats up right now in the political season, right? Kind of like food, medicine. Did you ever think medicine would become so political?
I used to think there was science and it was politics, and the two never met. And now the amount of politics and science at all levels, not just what you're seeing today, but at all levels, is just mind-bending. It's truly remarkable.
So and as a question, your colleagues, right? Do you look a little bit sideways at them or differently? And maybe you are one of these guys. Do you look when they lead with their politics in their profession? Does that do something to you?
It can make things very uncomfortable. Basically, in my business, people come to me oftentimes at really difficult and stressful times in their lives. The last thing they need to do is be made uncomfortable by pushing my agenda on them. Now, if they push their agenda on me, I can take it. But for me to push my agenda on them, that's not what this is about. That's not what medicine is about, not what science is about. Mm-hmm. However, regarding your question, should you be talking politics at the dinner table? I don't think you should be talking divisive politics at the dinner table, but I think those issues out there should be part of our ongoing discussion. The issues of, what's safe? What's safe for me with COVID? Those are good topics to discuss. But to say, I'm with Trump, I hate Trump, stuff like that, those are things that are just divisive. Let's talk the science. Let's talk what's reasonable. Let's talk what we should be doing in order to get back to life as normal. So I think regardless of which side of the political spectrum you're on, you want life to get back to normal at some point in time.
Yeah.
How do we do that? I think that's good dinner time conversations.
Oh, dinner time, anything goes in a private dinner time conversation. In fact, that's where I think that you should have all of those. You should talk about politics and relationships and religion, all the stuff that'll probably keep you from a second date. But go ahead. It's fair game at your private dinner table. You can do whatever you want to. I just would hate to see people miss out on business, especially right now when people need business, just because they lead with their politics. That's the whole point behind that, Doctor. The poll that we have, do politics belong on your dinner menu? Yes is 11% and no is 89%. I'm not so sure that I'm shocked. Let's dig in. Okay, Doctor, here we are going into fall. School's been in for a while. We're tiptoeing back into sports, bringing people back in. We've had rallies, we've had debates, we've had protests, we've had certain things that should give us indicators. We should know more about this. We have a president that was admitted to a hospital and released very quickly. There's a lot of people that are confused out there. Where are we with COVID, and is there light at the end of the tunnel?
There's light at the end of the tunnel for sure. The light that I see is not we're going to get vaccines and it'll all be over with. That's probably not going to be the solution. The solution probably will be effective treatments to make it a non-fatal disease. One of the things that Trump got was these monoclonal antibodies. I really think that monoclonal antibodies, whether they're synthesized or derived from convalescent plasma, are going to be able to turn this disease around and make it non-fatal. As soon as this disease is non-fatal, as soon as you or I can get this disease and have a very high certainty that we're not going to have strokes, we're not going to have heart attacks, we're not going to have blood clots in our lungs, we're not going to die. Once we get there, we can get past this disease. And I really think these monoclonal antibodies, like the ones that the president got in the hospital, those will make the difference. Those will turn this tide around. Those will get us back to business. And those will be available long before the vaccine is available. They'll be available soon. So we'll see. I hope there's light at the end of the tunnel. I hope that between now and when those monoclonal antibodies are available, that we continue to wear masks, we continue to appropriately distance, but start doing things more normally. Go to the hardware store, go to the grocery store, go to the restaurant. Right now you can eat outside. When you're eating outside, you can take off your mask and be reasonably safe. Now, if you're an 80-year-old diabetic with heart disease and lung disease, you don't even want to do that. But if you're a 45-year-old healthy person, yeah, do that. Don't expose yourself unnecessarily, because then you'll take it home and make your mother sick. But go ahead and go out, eat, enjoy things. Go to a restaurant, go to an art show. There are things we can do now safely, providing we take the appropriate precautions. And then maybe November, maybe December, these antibodies will become available. The disease will stop being fatal, and then we can kind of get back. That's my expectations. That's my hopes.
I mean, just wonderful if it goes as planned. As we know, nothing ever goes as planned, right? But here it is. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
One of the things we need to do with these upcoming treatments, these antibody treatments, is we cannot have 40,000 new cases per day and expect to get enough antibodies to treat everybody. So we know that if we take the right precautions, we can get the volume of disease down dramatically. Look at New Orleans. How many new cases did New Orleans have yesterday, the day before, and the day before? Answer, 0. 0 new cases in New Orleans yesterday and the day before. That's fantastic. So New Orleans, which lives by its routers, if we had antibodies now, the couple of cases they have in New Orleans could easily be treated. However, if you're having 40,000 new cases a day in this country, that's too many to treat. So do what New Orleans does. How often do you get to say that? Do what New Orleans does and get the cases down to a level that can be managed, a level that can be treated. Let's figure out what New Orleans did and let's do it.
Yeah.
I don't even know what they did. They did something right.
Is a case is a case, meaning should they all be looked at the same? And does a case matter, or does hospitalization matter? And here's my point. You see folks like Cam Newton who tested positive for COVID, and they said, well, will he play? And the consensus is that he could possibly have played last night in a football game if he didn't show any symptoms, right? There are folks out there right now that are testing positive for COVID and go, man, I didn't know. I feel great. I don't even. Are we just seeing a herd immunity happen here, or are we just learning more about COVID to where a case isn't actually a case, I mean, where is that, and how do we judge the severity of COVID or the spread of it if some people are just shrugging it off like yesterday's news?
That's one of the biggest problems with this virus. It has such a broad spectrum of presentation. We know in people Cam Newton's age, over half of them will have no symptoms and have the disease. People who are 80, 20% of them are going to die. So how do we deal with the disease that barely affects certain age groups and is tragic for other age groups? And at the same time, even in the younger age groups, those very few people who get very sick, it's a bigger tragedy, because to die at 30, in my book, is worse than dying at 66. I'm 66, so I can say that. It's the younger you are when you die, the less life you got to enjoy. So it's a weird disease. Some people get really sick, some people get less sick. I think that if Trump gets no sicker than he got lucky, or was it these monoclonal antibodies that made the difference in his illness? And if that's the case, soon these may become available for us. Until then, we're still seeing nearly 1,000 people die every day in this country. We still have to take it seriously. It's still a major, major problem for some people. It's a nothing burger for a lot of people, a major, major problem for some people. We can't forget it. We have to mask up. We have to continue to distance. When we're going to eat outside or eat in restaurants that are very well ventilated, that are aware of the risk, let's do it safely. Let's hang on for another couple months. Let's get these monoclonal antibodies clinically available, and let's get the number of people sick when these monoclonal antibodies become available down to a small enough level that we can treat everybody who needs to be treated. That's my thought for the day.
And a great thought. Obviously, people's minds are just, as we're learning more, and there is some data to substantiate a few things. But interestingly enough, as folks are being tested because they're in an NBA bubble, or they're in the NFL, or they're politicians, and you're just getting tested just to know. Do you think that same mentality should go with the everyday Joe and Sally American, to just go get tested because they'd like to know whether, or should you go only if you have symptoms?
When we get the $10, $5 saliva tests that you spit into a cup and 30 minutes later you have your result, when those become available, it's going to make this disease very, very different. We could have everybody in my office tested when they come in. And if anyone tests positive, we'll identify it, let that person know. That person will stay sequestered. They won't make other people sick. I think having a very easy, self-administered, home-based saliva test is the holy grail. When we get that, that's going to be another major step in bringing this disease down to a very minimal level. So another thing, once again, we keep waiting for vaccines. I hate to say it, but vaccines probably won't be the answer to this disease. And the reason it won't is just the math. This disease is so contagious that you have to have a vaccine that's either 100% effective, or a vaccine that's 70% effective and 100% of the population take it. A 100% effective vaccine is an albatross. You don't see it very often. It occurs, but you don't see it very often. The more like 70%. Well, current statistics say only 50% of the population would be willing to take a vaccine today. So 50% of the population takes a 70% effective vaccine, and then we say, job's done, let's take off our masks, let's go back to the bar and have a party. We'll have a bigger bump post-vaccine than we have now. We'll have more illness post-vaccine than now. So the vaccine, I don't think is going to be the answer. I think that easy, inexpensive, effective home-based testing will be an answer, and I think the monoclonal antibodies will be the answer. Both of those are coming around the curve really soon. Both of those will be available really soon. I think we hold off for those.
How about you? Would you take the first round?
First round of the vaccine, I'd have to look at the data behind it. I'm leaning that direction, I'll be honest.
Yeah, because of your age?
Because of my age and because of exposure. My age, and because I have exposure to people every day who could be bringing the virus in to see me.
Yeah.
And so I have to be super, protective of both myself and my other patients. Because we've had such an explosion of COVID in Boulder, thank you very much, University of Colorado. We have such an explosion in Boulder in COVID. I've gone back to almost exclusively virtual visits, Zoom visits in my office. I've reduced the number of live patient visits to the very minimum, the patients who I actually need to see live, because I don't want to become part of the problem of transmitting this disease. And so, to date, we haven't had anyone in my office get sick. To date, no one has gotten sick because they came to my office.
Yeah.
I want to keep that streak.
Has everybody been tested?
Many of us have been tested, but not everyone and not every week.
Yeah. Would you want to know the answer to that?
Absolutely.
You would?
Absolutely. Yes.
Gotcha.
If we had easy, inexpensive testing that could be done with a rapid turnaround, absolutely would be doing it. To do a test that takes 2 or 3 day turnaround, in my practice, doesn't work. So what we do is we push back another level of protection. We try to limit exposure. I try to limit contact with each other and with patients, and except when absolutely necessary.
Yeah.
But yes, I wish it was a test.
Last one for you, and this is really just an ethics question, a moral question, is do you think it's morally or ethically right to have tested positive for COVID and not have symptoms or feel better and expose yourself to other people outside of the quarantine time that's been recommended by the CDC?
No, I think that is a terrible thing to do. I think that's what the human species is not supposed to do, which is injure other people for no special reason. If you have the virus and you can share the virus with others, don't. Let the virus clear. Wait. It's a couple of weeks. Wait until you're without virus to go out to expose other people. You can't put other people's safety, health, and life in danger, or their parents and grandparents' safety, health, and life in danger, because you don't want to think that this is a bad disease. It can be a very bad disease in people, and the same virus in one person may do nothing, and another person kill them. So no, I find it abhorrent that someone would know they have the disease and go out and knowingly expose other people to it. And there are people who don't know they have the disease, and I understand that. But if you know you have it and you go out and willingly, knowingly expose other people, I don't know, that seems inherently wrong to me at every level.
Creepy. Gosh, there's a lot of stuff that you could say on that. The Picosibus in that fish tank is huge, Doctor. That tank must be absolutely clean.
How can you see that?
Well, it was just it was up there, doing its thing on the glass, and it's not up right now. But that's an impressive fish tank. Usually the only thing that is left in a fish tank is the Picosibus. Did it manage to survive, be the last survivor in that tank?
Picosibus and a catfish. You got a big old catfish down there, too.
Doctor, you're the best. We love you. We'll check in soon. Take the doctor's advice. If you've tested positive, you still feel good, you're wondering, can I get back out there? Wait it out. It's the right thing to do. It's morally and ethically the right thing to do. Thanks, Doctor. We'll see you soon.
Okay.
There he is. Dr. William Blanchette. All right, a fun time. Hey, Chef P.
How's it going?
How are you doing?
Doing great.
We're going to take a quick break and then come back and talk about something I think is really cool. I'm going to play just a little teeny teaser of this thing right here. And Jay, let me know when you're ready. All right, here we go. This is a little clip, and I think we'll play the whole thing. It's Break Bread with Chef P, and it's a savory butter roasted chicken recipe. What do you think, man? Are you proud about this production?
I am proud about it. I think that it's the first episode that we've launched. So far we have 2 that we've filmed, so this one plus one other one where I make a steak, or a couple steaks. And, I am really proud of this one. I feel like it's a good base to work off of as far as where we're going to go with the direction of the show. It's kind of hard. The whole show came to me about 3 months ago, and we kind of really threw it together really fast. The producers on the show, the camera folks, they're all very, very talented, and we kind of just organically filmed this and dropped this and kind of made it happen. And it's
I'm
kind
going to
of
pause it here, and I want to do the whole setup. We'll talk about everybody that's involved, yourself. This is Preston Phillips. He's not only a friend of ours, but he's a very talented chef. We met a few years back and just became quick friends. He's in Cherry Creek with Grind Kitchen and Watering Hole. I love him, and I love his whole family. This personifies a neighborhood restaurant and a neighborhood guy that's just out there in this world trying to do the best that he can. And this video is so much fun. We need more fun in this world. We're going to have fun with Chef P, Chef Preston Phillips. That'll be next, right here on the Modern Eater Show.
Hey guys, it's Brian Rizzuto with Encore Energy, the guy who saves your businesses money on natural gas. I know these are crazy, crazy times right now. So while your business is working on increasing your sales, let me work on saving you guys money on your natural gas. I'll make it as easy as possible. Just provide 12 months worth of natural gas bills to me. I'll do the rest. I know you're really busy, so let me get to work for you. You can reach me at 720-245-5771. I look forward to hearing from you guys, and let me try to save you some money in these crazy times. Bye.
Hi, Charlie from Brews Beers here, and I'd like to tell you about our brand new Abbey 4-pack, featuring the 4 main products of Abbey and Trappist breweries in Belgium. So there's the single, the double, the triple, and the quadruple. And let's talk about singles today. Singles or ankles are traditionally monks beers served at meal times and during the day. They're low in alcohol, 3 to 5.5%, and they're often second runnings from stronger beers like triples or quadruples. This one is 3.8% ABV, and it's made from the second runnings from our triple. So what they're known for is lightness and drinkability. They're biscuity flavor with distinct hoppiness, and they're very refreshing. Great summer beers, available at either Brews location, 67th and Pecos, or at Colfax in York, and at fine liquor stores throughout the metro area. Pick up your Abbey 4-pack today and take home some Belgian-style badassery.
Everybody clap your hands. Get your energy up there, Chef P.
It's falling down.
That's how you
from that sentence. It fell, man. It's not falling.
It's my Monday.
Savory butter roasted chicken recipe. Chef P. Break bread with Chef P. What do you think? Are you okay with premiering this on our show today?
Yeah.
Never mind.
Forget
this guy.
Yeah.
Get out of here. Not only are we not doing anything, it's like you want to lay down and take a nap here, Chef P?
He has way more personality than that. You know what I mean? It's almost like the cool guy takes over when the camera's on. Like, what's up? Yeah. 6, 2, whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
That's right. I cook.
Yeah. You turn it off. He's like, I love playing with Slinkies when I was a kid. And he starts jumping around and having fun, you know?
That's exactly him.
Yeah.
Chef P, so you started this new project. First of all, Grind Kitchen and Watering Hole. How are you guys doing down there? Good?
We're doing good, man. We're such a big restaurant already that we kind of already out or weren't big enough for the space to begin with, and so to have the limited seating spread apart like it is, our patios are already decently sized. Already, so it hasn't really put that big of a damper.
Good.
In when it starts getting really cold,
we'll see.
Then we'll see.
Yeah.
But as far as right now, it's fine.
Yeah, good. That's what I like to hear. And it doesn't hurt that you have delicious food there. Right? Last night I was going to call you up. I hate inconvenience. But sometimes I get this craving for – you just said, I hate inconveniencing you. And Jay said, wait a minute.
I mean, that's kind of one of your things. That's one of your endearing things.
Just me, huh?
The last few times I've called him, he's like, do you know I'm in service?
Yeah.
You know I'm doing brunch?
Yeah.
You know? It's like, sorry, man. But I crave your chicken strips, man. They're just delicious. It might be that.
Well, they're for kids, Greg.
Well, I'm a kid. They're so good, and then you put them in a little thing for me, and I take them home, put a couple pickles on it. Anyway, I might do that tonight. Can I do that tonight?
I'm not there, so you have to struggle that one off the con.
Well, no, that's fine, but can you put the call in?
Yeah.
You hear where I'm coming from?
I'm not looking to pay for it.
Yeah, that's right. I'm looking to pick it up. That's where I'm going.
So show this, Jay. Just show my screen, and Preston can tell us who these people are here. But one of these guys worked for you. He was in the dish pit, donning the dish pit,
Yes.
rapping in the dish pit.
No, not. I actually didn't know about his talents whenever we were working together back then. It was
first of all, who is he?
So, O-Finesse. So he's a local hip hop artist.
Okay, O-Finesse.
Really kind of.
He's in the Champion T-shirt.
That's him in the Champion T-shirt. He hit me with this idea of he's ever since he left the restaurant to go on and do bigger and better things. He's always stayed in touch and comes back to eat, and always shows support. And a couple months back, he came back and said, "Hey, I want to do this show." And he mentioned to me that he was in it with all these producers doing this whole rap deal and really getting into the whole local underground hip hop game, which is. I'm also into, and so I kind of was like, all right, well, what are you thinking?
Yeah, you're into the underground hip-hop scene. When was the last concert you went to? It's like, I'm into it.
Hey, Spotify doesn't make you leave anywhere. So I was like, all right, shoot, let's see, let's do it.
Yeah.
And so
what do we got to lose?
We started conjuring this up probably 3 months ago, and we shot the first one month and a half ago, and I was really confident in everyone involved, and the whole vibe and the aura of the whole situation just kind of made sense. That something people would want to watch, and so we filmed this first episode here that Greg's got on YouTube here, and this has been editing in the works for about 3 or 4 weeks now. We've already filmed another episode since this one, but the whole basis of the show is me cooking and having this community of hip-hop guys and entertainment guys alike. If we get to the point where we come across, a comedian that we have to have on, then we'll have the comedian on.
Sure.
But the stage is really set for me to shoot the bull with these artists that they're affiliated with. And when I say they, I'm talking about O-Finesse, Bates, his cousin, and kind of what all they're involved in.
Now, they're not involved in the production.
They are, yes.
Okay.
Well, so Bates is one of the producers, one of the guys that does the film work. Clever Schemes does a fantastic job. He's the one that did all the editing and all the real screen work that you see was done by him. But as far as getting these artists to come on the show and housing them and
you got to show them the idea first,
right?
And so
right.
Here's the idea.
And so so this is the first episode. We're going to kind of fling off from here and kind of figure out
tweak it, adjust it, yeah,
and figure out that style of film that really is going to work best for us. And what the overall. Why are you watching this show? Like we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Why are you tuned in now? Yeah. What are we doing here?
Why do you love it?
I want to make a meme with that picture and just put captions next to everybody's head on what look. You know what I mean? I haven't even written anything, and Preston loves it, but just because I can think of just a few real bizarre things,
right there.
Yeah.
So it all goes back to break bread with Chef P.
Yes,
and I love the basics. It's 6 minutes and 7 seconds already, and here's what I hope people will do: go to their YouTube channel and like the YouTube channel. What's the name of the YouTube channel?
Break Bread with Chef P.
Break Bread with Chef P. So
also on Instagram under the same tag.
That's cool. So go ahead and like that so that you get notifications, and at the same time, watch the video there again. So you're up to 58 views, or maybe more.
I don't know. By now, it could be 72. I don't know.
It could be
69, 72.
It could be right in there, or more, or less. I don't know.
54. I don't know.
But like it and just get in that algorithm. But Denver's very own Chef Preston Phillips. Here is the worldwide release of savory butter roasted chicken recipe. I hope you guys enjoy.
Can we take that piece off of there? I'm good right here. Drink some of this bourbon with that chicken.
Nice, man. You know what I mean? Break bread with your family and friends, man. Put some love in the world, man. It's too much of you hate out there anyway. All right, y'all. Chef Preston Phillips here. I got my boy Finesse. I got Bates. About to throw down, guys, new show, Break Bread with Chef P. So we're about to throw down some roasted chicken today. So we're going to make a little fall-inspired dish. Some root vegetables, roasted chicken. I'm going to have some drink here in a minute. Well, throw down. Yeah. Cameraman can't have drinks. Now see, well, that shit look like water. This is definitely a handcrafted nice shank right here. You do a lot of, you could do a lot a lot of damage to someone.
It's got a lid too, so you can do your braises and stuff like that. But yeah, these
$2. So how long you cooking this for, Chef?
About an hour and 15, give or take 5-10 minutes.
And you rotating?
Rotating.
25 minutes?
Every 25 minutes. So everyone's oven, unless you're in a restaurant style convection oven, every oven has the coils that kind of go in and out of the top layer. So with this skin, we're trying to crisp it. You know, we got the butter off in there. We're trying to get this thing crispy. You know, so it's got texture and flavor and all these things that that builds whenever you do high heat. Up on the oven, 25 degrees. Every oven's different. You know, ovens are not the same. They're not all calibrated the same. You have to kind of, when you put your hands in there to put your whatever it is you're cooking in the oven, you can feel. If you don't feel that heat radiating, up it a little bit. Okay.
So how many degrees you want up, Chef? Melt this down, but we don't want it to burn, so we're gonna watch the heat, and we just want it to start foaming. When it starts foaming, we're gonna take it off and we're gonna pour it over the chicken and the vegetables, give it a lot of flavor. Butter's your friend when you're fucking with chicken, or anything for that matter. I know a lot of y'all like to eat bacon and shit, but I like butter.
A few moments later. How you eat. Y'all ain't eating like this, man. This is cost $25
one time, right?
You get that juice on there.
That juice on there, man.
Yeah, I need some of that juice too. You hit me with that juice?
Let it drip.
Yeah, that's what's
Send a
up.
nigga that drip.
And you see drip too. Hold the plate up for a minute, dog.
There it is, break bread with Chef P. Good stuff, man.
Thank you.
I mean, just delicious butter with chicken.
That's all it takes. Butter, chicken, salt, time.
Hit them veggies, man.
Now, were you putting
butter is your friend?
Well, it looks. I'm not on the. I mean, butter's great. I love it. But were you putting the bones on that thing? You just look like you hacked that chicken with bones still connected, and you put that on top.
Right.
God, that terrifies
That's
me.
the flavor, man.
What do you mean terrifies you?
Well, I would want you to. I'd be like, hey, chef, can you take the bones off of that?
What
and
are
just
you,
put the meat
8
on there.
years old?
It's a drumstick, a thigh, and a bone-in breast. What else you want me to do?
Nah, well, I understand.
He wants
that.
them chicken strips, man.
Well, no, but chopping the bone. Maybe there's a bone spur. I don't know.
There ain't no bone spurs.
So,
sorry.
Coupling, yeah. How about the gentleman who elected to wear a robe during that? That was pretty slick.
Oh, I missed that.
Oh, you missed that?
I missed it. Yeah, I missed. I was looking at the chicken. I missed
you didn't
yeah,
get
pop. See if you can pop that
you didn't
robe
get
shot.
the robe
No,
up?
I'll pop the robe shot. I'll throw it back up.
Okay.
I like the Charlie Murphy cuts though. That's good.
Let's see the gentleman. Oh, well, just right off the bat, he's rocking the robe. Let's see if it'll come in here.
Greg is searching.
Here it is.
Oh, I missed that somehow. I don't know how
He said, I'm going to just go get my robe real quick.
That's what he did.
So what are you guys drinking?
That's what
we're drinking. Blanton's. Perfect.
Okay. Was that their number one choice, or was that?
That was my choice.
Yeah.
So part of the whole thing behind. So every show,
you're going to be spirits forward.
Every
right?
show will have a drink segment within it. So my big thing is bourbon. Blanton's being a bottle that you can't just find on the shelf anywhere. It's something that you have
didn't
to
talk
procure.
about
This is the first.
No, I get it. I'm just we're working through this
going
together.
forward with the show. We have segments for all the drink, and it's not just going to be us shooting shots of bourbon. It's going to be more so cocktail forward,
sippy sip.
So in the last episode that we filmed, the one after this one. We're making Manhattans. We're making old fashions. So I brought in some of the big block ice from the restaurant.
Look at them accent.
We actually used Axe and Oak for the second episode.
Yeah.
The rye and the bourbon.
Nice.
Bates, the man in the robe there, has connections down there with those guys, so he pulled us a
Great
couple
people,
bottles.
by the way.
To do that. So we're making a Manhattan old fashioned, carving the ice, making ice spheres.
If I see a theme though with all of your cooking to where everything's just doused in butter, I'm gonna freak out.
Well, the next show is the same.
Butter. Man, you could cook a heel in butter.
So we're really trying to cover the bases right now with the first couple shows. Yeah. So roasted chicken.
Yeah.
Everyone should know how to do one of those.
Yes.
Butter basted steak is the next one. So I've got a couple ribeyes that I did for the last show. The show coming up, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do.
I mean, I say put more butter, man. Here's the thing.
Really?
For what he's cooking, and his style and what it is. I mean, he's an Alabama kid, Southern comfort food, that there is a lot of butter and there is a lot of salt. And I think that's what you're showing. The dishes that you're picking to show. I know you could probably grill something that's real light and fat.
In general, yes, there will always be a
pound
pound of butter on the table for whatever to scoop
if
off
that's
to
your
put
thing,
on whatever it is that
then
that's what it's going to be.
Yeah, then that's why you're watching. And there are other people doing, the salad video, and this is how you have 4 calories in your entire day's menu, and they can go there to watch that.
You're right.
You are right. When and just no bones. Just don't put the bones on there.
Speaking about a pound of butter, what pound of weed? Explain this to us.
So everyone involved is, for the most part, involved in the cannabis industry as well. Some of the top cannabis.
Well, when you say involved, are they involved like
recreational,
like my
users?
neighbor?
Some of the best cannabis I've ever seen is coming out of some of the grows that these guys have. And we're trying to
will that be incorporated into the
eventually?
shows?
Yes, I feel like in the moment it's kind of just like that teaser, and just like you asked me earlier, why have the weed just randomly splotched in there? I think that there's a reason behind that. It will come eventually where it all comes full circle. As far as whether it's me cooking with it or some of the guests that we have on the show, it'll really all come full circle when it comes down to it.
Because you might spark up a fatty with your bourbon
we might.
before eating.
Might have a hard time completing the show.
I think you'll figure out how to do it for sure.
On this episode, it's mac and cheese again.
Hit them veggies. Butter is your friend, that's for sure. Butter with chicken, butter. The drinks, the robes, the personalities are fun. I don't know. I want to see another one. I guess that's the test right there.
Well, they're coming.
Would you want to take another look? Go to the YouTube channel. It's Break Bread with Chef P. And I like the concept, man. I'm hoping what you do is you get some, fairly renowned or some folks with some notoriety, and you're able to just ask them about, what are some of your favorite recipes or childhood stuff, and maybe you can make them their favorite recipe and sit down and just talk to them about it. More of an interview style of like, here's the food. What are these memories that it evokes? Tell me about your family. Was this your grandma's salsa or wherever you take it from that? It's interesting because food and families are really big. Obviously, me growing up, it'd be like, what did you? Everything cheese related, mac and cheese, grilled cheese, cheese on cheese with butter cheese.
You know what I've been eating, and I don't know if you're going to believe this or not.
Cheese.
But I've been eating Aspen Baking. I stole a loaf. They provided some delicious sourdough, sliced sourdough bread for the fall dinner series for Chef Alex Seidel's team to make some bread pudding. And anyway, they got one extra loaf in there somehow, right? So I managed to take that home with me. And I just crush up this bread, crush it up into a tube and eat it like a string cheese piece, just like a candy bar, a bread candy bar.
Delicious.
It's delicious. I swear to goodness, it's delicious.
So, yes, 59 views before we started. Now, 72.
Oh, wow.
And 5 likes, 5 thumbs up. Nobody hates it yet.
So far.
There'll be some butter or vegan out there that'll look at this video and get disgusted. You gross butter drenching, weed smoking.
I mean, I don't know about
bourbon drinking, rap music listening.
Yeah. Look at these
heathens.
Look at these. Look at this pile of drugs and pile of butter. Who are these guys?
Push thumbs down. Block this account.
That's right. One-way ticket to hell right here.
That's right. Never go to grind.
No, that's a fun video, Chef. It really is.
Thank you.
And it's somebody like me who's a super novice in the kitchen. I take away some stuff from that.
Would you watch it?
Yeah,
he just did.
Yeah.
Well, tell the truth. He said that you was watching
half.
it on the toilet today, and he only watched half. Why did you not watch the other half?
He had to go. He forgot to flush too, so it's still there waiting for him.
Whoa!
Slightly disintegrated, little brown.
No, I don't know what you're. Stop, please, God, get rid of this guy. Holy cow!
It's like that guy picking his nose on our stream.
That's
was that me?
No,
that's
Grind Kitchen and Watering.
That's right. Go get dinner today. TheModernEater.com. Every single chef. Were you able to see some of the pic? Well, who do you want to see? Do you want to see Rebecca Weissman's pictures? Scott
who?
Hibbeneth's pictures. Chef Alex Seidel's. Where are the rest? Corey Baker's. Let's look. You want to look at Alex's pictures?
Go ahead.
This is from the fall dinner series, and
TheModernEater.com.
TheModernEater.com. What is it? Oh, this is an interview. Dang it. I got to go to the gallery. Can we get the galleries on the front page to where you see the How does that work, Jay?
I think they were. They got pushed down already.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Okay, what was I looking at then? Let me go back there.
Go back.
I want to see what's going on here. Home page, themoderneater.com. Okay, this one.
So that's his show. To the right is a gallery. To the right of that is a gallery. So maybe Chef Alex's. We'll scroll down because it'll get pushed down.
Is this
down
pictures
further.
here?
No, that's his dinner. But right there, those are galleries. Chef Rebecca, that one's gallery.
It's just so much content.
So much beautiful and educational content.
thing, if you want to see the best pictures of your life, just click on themoderneater.com and go to the galleries.
Yeah,
and then here's Alex Seidel's
Who's
pictures.
taking all these days?
Jay took these.
Mostly me. I mean, there's some
Really?
sprinkled in, and I'll give credit to Kevin Gallibo.
Well, we don't have any of his pictures posted,
No,
right? Yeah.
no. I looked at them, and not to knock him, but I was happy with the ones I had. And
Jay, you're a pro these days.
Well, no, I wouldn't go that far. I want to make
Well,
a meme out of that.
You're
but
really
I
getting
don't-
those angles down.
Oh yeah, I'm Mr. Angle. That one's so good it takes an extra second to load because of all the cool pictures in it.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go. That's his team, man. His team was on point too.
Happy Diners.
Mm-hmm. That's Jimmy from Fruition Farms Creamery. That's Talbott Farms pears that they were marinating for the dessert dish. Went with their bread pudding with Aspen baking, which is that dish right there, the bread pudding. That's Centennial Cut short rib. Look at that dish, man. Frontier Trout Ranch trout. I forget what they called that. And then that's pasta with Fruition Farms feta right on top.
Nice.
Yeah, and they.
And where was this location that you guys did this at?
Logan Street Restaurant and Bar, the old Governor's Park there on 7th and Logan, right next to Carboy Winery.
Gotcha.
That chef right there, the dude on the right, go back for a second. That's a guy we're going to get on the show, and his name is Silva King. And he's a young chef from Africa, and I was talking to him after the show, and we're going to get him on here doing some African street food in the kitchen, man. So keep an eye out for that.
And speaking of that, there's another guy that we're going to hook up with, Harold Sims, who won $10,000 off of a Netflix show called Cooked with Cannabis.
Mm-hmm.
I think, when's he going to be on the show, Jim?
Tomorrow
on the show, along with Molly from the CRA as well, too. The fall dinner series was wonderful. Anytime we release a dinner series, go. It's great food. Community, the whole 9 yards.
And, not on top of the fact that, honestly, when you do go to the dinner series that we put on and are a part of, it's so much more than a dinner. So if you buy a ticket, and let's say it's $100, you get 5 courses of delicious food cooked by an incredible local chef, right? That in itself is worth the price of admission. But when you factor in all the people you're helping, by supporting these causes, I mean, it's just... it's a no-brainer.
I'm on YouTube right now with Break Bread with Chef P. 6 subscribers. I'm number 7. Just keep that in mind. I'm number 7. Okay?
Thank you, Greg.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you.
Do the same thing. I like it, man, and I love that because this has been a passion of yours. You've wanted to do something like this, so I'm glad that this is something that's coming true for you, Preston.
Well, it just worked out, man. I mean, he came to me, and
best things in life go that way.
So
right.
He saw something, and I said, all right, I can kind of see it too. If we're going to be on the same page, let's do it. And I'm happy so far.
Yeah. Good things to come for you, my man. And I won't go there. Okay. Wrapping up the show. What do you think? We got food to eat. Where's your food? Did Jay take pictures?
I took a picture, yeah. I'll put it up on Instagram. I didn't show it.
We just had some stuff laying around. I kind of just turned the grill on. Or Jay turned it on for me before I got here.
Hold on 2 seconds. That's all right, man. You can take the credit for that. Normally.
Turning the grill on.
We just have some grilled thighs, bone in. There was some cauliflower in the walk-in left over from the summer dinner series.
Or fall dinner series.
Fall dinner series.
All right.
Sorry.
Summer would have been
so I just charred the cauliflower. Didn't make a sauce or anything. Just kind of nibbling off the platter over there. And then just some radishes there to garnish on top. Nothing too crazy, but it is tasty.
All right, as we close out today's show, we do want to hear from you, but do politics belong on your dinner menu? And to be more specific, if you're in business and, restaurants have renownedly been that place to where you break bread with Chef P, but it transcends politics, and it's a place where it's all inclusive. You can come together, maybe even find some common ground through food. Don't be that divisive person who's on your social media platforms spewing vitriol of your political positions or your thoughts, and it's getting ugly out there and it's getting weird. Don't lose out on guests
No, don't.
I mean, I just say
don't lose out on
think it through. You know?
Yeah, just think it through, Preston. I don't ever see you doing that.
I mean, it's one of those. Does it belong? No, definitely. Like you were talking about earlier.
You no good.
Do you have people that work for you that are going to carry on their intimate conversations with guests, not thinking about
since you're
politics
a business
getting
owner,
involved?
That's a good question.
Yes, that's 100% going to happen.
We'll leave this just because I value your perspective. You're a small business owner, Grind Kitchen, Watering Hole, also owner, operator, and chef. If somebody came to you as a customer and said, listen, Preston, I love your place, your bartender, I can't stand their politics, and I'm not coming back because of their politics, and actually we were friends on Facebook or Instagram. I had to stop following them. I deleted them. It's rude. It's nasty. I don't want to be there. I'm not going to come back. How do you handle that internally?
I mean, anyone that's going to come to me and say something like that directly to me is going to know me personally, and
not necessarily.
That conversation, any customer that's going to come up to me and
listen,
strike up
man,
a conversation like that is going to be pretty much a regular for the last at least 3 years.
And I don't mean to jump in and tell you what your opinion is, but I mean, I've been in the restaurant business a long time, and there's plenty of people that want to talk to the owner, manager, or anything like that, have no connection whatsoever but they just disagree with something. So in that respect, I think a stranger would do that.
Yes.
But here's the thing. When you say the guest goes to the bar or goes to Preston and says, "Hey, your bartender,"
like he knows me from knows who I am.
I mean,
now has interaction with so and so.
Well, that's fine. But I mean, like, are you saying that the guest had a political interaction with the bartender in the establishment on the clock working? Or are you saying like that they saw a social media and knows who this is? Because I think those are very different conversations.
If it's inside the walls of your business,
that's obviously no.
That's a real big no.
That's a one strike.
But social media more and more these days. It was funny because John Imbergamo, who was on the show earlier, I asked him the question, or I said the statement of like, could you fire him? He was like, well, I don't think you can fire him. I think that a perfect cause to fire somebody. And again, that's just my own opinion on that.
I'd agree with that if it was happening in
if
the
I'm
establishment.
losing money and it's something visible and apparent, then I'll first address it as like, you got to stop this, And it's tough because, people's personal Facebook pages, they say, listen, that's me and my friends, and that's my wall, and I can do anything that I want to on it. And that's an interesting thing because as much as we say it's not important, it is important to people. And it just turns people a little bit sideways. So, like you said, Jay, just be careful, right?
Yeah, just think about it.
Tomorrow, big show. What do we got?
Chef Harold Sims, the winner from Cooked with Cannabis, is on the show. And Holly from the CRA.
Or Molly.
I said Holly.
That's
Molly.
okay.
Molly from the CRA. We're going to continue the discussion regarding the delivery fee cap that was passed. And then I'm trying to get somebody from Postmates or Grubhub.
You should.
And get their side. And so I got an email address, so I'm going to hopefully that works out. And then what else? You want me to get Jesusio Silva?
I would like to. Okay. I really respect that gentleman, and he put himself out there with.
And here's the thing, and I know we're closing up, but it's like I think that there are probably a lot of folks out there that agree to do a certain kind of video and may not realize the implications that video. And I'm not saying that's Jesusio, but there could be folks.
I think he thought it through.
You think so?
I think he thought it through. Yeah, and that's what. And so with that, he pretty much. He drew that line. And I think I'll ask him tomorrow. He'll tell me the answer. Okay, you guys, we'd love to have your opinion. TheModernEater.com. Please sign up for our newsletter. Watch Break Bread with Chef P. That's your homework assignment. Check that out for tonight. All right, we'll thank you and for Faith Johnson and Brian Freeman and Jay Parker and Preston Phillips. I'm Greg Hollenbach. We'll see you tomorrow as the Modern Eater Show continues.